Hello and welcome to Training Tuesday, where we go through weekly tips and tricks to make your career just a little bit more awesome. Today we are talking about reflection and setting yourself up for the future, and I'll be sharing one of my favorite exercises that I do every year around this time. Now, when it comes to reflection, this time of year, you typically see people who are so focused on setting themselves up for next year. Their sights have shifted and they're already thinking about the things that they want to do differently, all of the changes they're going to make, this whole new year, new me mentality. As I've talked about before, I'm not really a fan of the new year, new me mentality because it often focuses on the huge leaps opposed to the steps, the progress. It focuses on being a completely different person. And the reality is that's a really big ask for anyone, right? So even if you're kind of getting in this place where you're focusing so much on the future, it may not work very well because again, you're not taking into account where you've been, you're setting yourself up for a struggle. If you want to make lasting change, what you want to do is focus on evolving yourself, right? Consider where you've been, consider what's been going well, what hasn't, and actually really take the time to reflect back because people don't often take that much time for this, right? I see this all the time when it comes to clients talking about their careers. When I say, okay, so what about your role have you liked, what have you not liked? Sometimes I get this kind of look of, have you ever considered what's been going well, what hasn't, what you can evolve? People often don't think about it in those terms. So this week, I have an exercise for you to really reflect back so that you can set your path forward, considering where you've been, what you've done, how you've grown up to now. So when it comes to this, I want to give you an exercise so that when you're trying to create this change, you can make sure you're focusing on side steps opposed to this crazy leap. And this exercise I want you to do is my tip for you this week. So I want you to grab a journal, sit, carve out some time for yourself to really sit and ask yourself these 4 questions. What has gone well this past year? What are all the things that I would consider successes? What am I happy with? What has gone less than well? So what have been the hurdles that I've come up against? What hasn't necessarily gone the way I wanted it to go, right? So what has gone well? What are the hurdles that I've come up against or the challenges I faced? What do I want to continue doing? And what do I want to do less of? These questions are pretty straightforward and they're simple, which is I think where so much of the beauty in this lies, is having actual simple questions that can really kind of guide you through so you can reflect back and set your path forward with that in mind. What have I already been doing that rocks that I want to continue doing? What is kind of a small shift that I can focus on making in the year? Opposed to saying, I'm going to do something entirely different and do a 180. What are the kind of steps that I can take to get there? So you're setting yourself up for a continual path to success opposed to this new year, new me mentality that leads to nobody still being at the gym in February. Okay, so those are the things that I want you to think about. Sit, journal, ask yourself those 4 questions, and as a result of what I want to stop doing, what I want to continue doing, I want you to really think of your coming year with that in mind. That's the lens we want to look at this all through because we don't want it to be this kind of like massive step that's not doable. We want it to be the shifts and we want it to be the things that are really sustainable. Okay, so try that tip on for size. Start that exercise. If you are going to do this exercise, comment, I'm on it below so that we know and we are all kind of banded together in this. And if you need additional help talking about making your year a massive success, I'm doing a live training tonight in the Hustle Hive. So you can always reach out to me to be added into that group and join us live. We'll be doing a training on the 6 steps necessary to make massive change in the coming year. Okay, so join us on that training. I would love to have you there. Try that tip on for size, and I will be back here seeing you for our next Training Tuesday on January 8th because we'll be off for the holidays the next 2 weeks, okay? So try that tip on for size, get your exercise going, join us in the group training, have a happy holidays, and in the meantime, happy working.